Welcome to a rapid review with the Gifted Academics team. I am your instructor for the day, Ryan. Rapid review with Ryan. How about that? Today we're going to be talking about one of the first quite confusing topics that you'll get, advanced, if you're not super well-versed in physics, within the CISSN exam. So this comes from Chapter 1, and it's a review of the basics, differences, definitions of your laws of thermodynamics. So Chapter 1, Slide 3 is where you will find this. So really with the laws of thermodynamics, we want to be able to differentiate between them, know their definitions, and then have a nutritional implication on these as well. So that'll be the topic of this video here. The first law of thermodynamics simply states that energy cannot be created or destroyed within a system. So the system that we're going to be talking about today is obviously the human body. It's the system that sports nutrition applies to. With this law, I want you to think about calories in versus calories out. The body, simply put, does not create energy within itself, and it does not destroy it. So there is a constant flux of energy throughout the human body, throughout the biological system, energy being utilized for fuel, and then energy entering the body as food or drink in the form of calories, your macronutrients being broken down into their usable form, supplying energy to the body through calories, ultimately being broken down, converted, and used in the resynthesis of ATP, the body's energy currency. Your implications from a nutritional standpoint here would be in weight management for our lifestyle clients, but also, more importantly, for our athletes. Again, this exam will teach you a lot about working with lifestyle clients, standard clients that simply want to improve their body composition and lose weight. But it's also important for the weight management of our athletes as well, no matter what their weight goal is. So supplying sufficient energy for our athletes or cutting back on energy intake based on the output. So a lot of this first law here just comes down to calories in versus calories out, energy management, and the effect that that's going to have on your body weight. Moving down to the second law of thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics states that as energy is transferred or transformed, more of it is going to be wasted. And we're going to be talking about waste in the form of heat. So what I want you to think about on this one is going to be working out. So choose your favorite form of exercise, whatever you like to do, whether that's, running, playing sports, lifting weights. Just get it in your mind right now what your favorite form of exercise is. During that exercise, depending on things like duration and intensity, energy is going to be transferred from your storage sites. So think about the storage sites for energy in the body. That would be fat cells, adipose, where we're storing triglyceride, or glycogen stores, and we're going to be taking energy out of there. It's being transferred from those storage sites and transformed ultimately into ATP. The byproduct of that transference and transformation is going to be the heat that you feel during training. So as the intensity of exercise goes up, the amount of energy that you have to transfer and transform from those storage sites to the usable form ATP goes up, you will feel an increase in your body temperature. Same thing with duration. Greater duration of exercise, more energy that the body is going to need. So therefore, you'll have more of that heat as a waste product of that conversion, that transference, that transformation of exercise. If you want an example outside of exercise, outside of working out, think about, my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving, or think about sitting down at a Brazilian steakhouse and really loading yourself up with, the availability there of food, which would be things like meat. So a lot of people are familiar with the phrase meat sweats, where you ingest a large quantity of food, usually in the form of meat or protein, and you start to sweat. You notice an observable increase in your body temperature. What's happening there is we're seeing a large influx of calories, energy, and an increased demand to transform, transfer, and then store those calories as energy for later use. Again, second law of thermodynamics, more heat being produced. With the thermic effect of food of protein being higher, we see a greater amount of heat as a byproduct of transferring and transforming those calories, those macronutrients to a storage form for later use. Now, implications from a nutritional coaching standpoint are multifaceted here. We want to understand that when the energy demand of exercise increases, we are going to see a greater amount of energy being lost in the form of heat, an inefficiency of the system, if you will. This phenomenon of increased heat being produced by the body as energy demands go up can compound with the ambient environment, meaning that if you are working out at high intensities for high durations in a hot and often humid climate, if you're from the States, something that you would see in like Florida, possibly Texas, maybe California, where you see the greatest amount of heat illness and heat exhaustion. So you would see those effects actually compound. So high intensity, high volume of exercise performed in the heat, we really need to be aware as, strength coaches or as sports nutritionists on what the implications are for thermal regulation, hydration, rest between bouts of exercise, and then refueling and rehydrating between sessions. All very important implications when it comes to that second law of thermodynamics. Again, revisit that definition there so that you don't miss that one. The last one here is arguably the strangest in terms of definitions, especially if you're not big in physics. The third law of thermodynamics states that the entropy of a system, entropy meaning randomness, decreases as temperature decreases as you approach absolute zero. Implications from a nutritional standpoint are minimal, if any. Again, the purpose of our preps is to get you from zero to certified as fast as possible, cutting through the information that you don't need to know. So for this one, for the third law of thermodynamics, we suggest that you know the definition and leave it at that. At most, you'll see a question that offers you the chance to recall the definition. Maybe the definition is in the question. The question says something like, the entropy of a system approaches a constant value as the system approaches absolute zero would be the definition of which law of thermodynamics, and then it's a simple recall where you have to put third law of thermodynamics. The first and the second laws here are going to be the most important ones, not only for passing the exams, but for your career as a nutritional professional, as a sports nutritionist. Hope that helps. Good luck on the exam. Good luck as you work your way through our preps. As always, the link to those services is in the bio below. So if you want to learn more about our CISSN prep or some of the other certifications that we offer, simply click that link and fill out the contact form if you'd like to talk to our admin or one of our academic professionals. See you on the next video.